Washington Journal continues.
This is David Mitchell. He is the president and founder of an organization known as Patients for Affordable Drugs, here to talk about the cost of prescription drugs. Good morning.
Good morning, Pedro.
Talk a little bit about your organization. What's behind it, who funds it, and why did you start it?
Patients for Affordable Drugs is the only national patient organization focused exclusively on policies to lower drug prices. We don't take money from anybody who profits from the development or distribution of prescription drugs. We collect patient stories and amplify those stories to policymakers and elected officials, and we're building a community of patients and allies that can be mobilized in support of policies to lower drug prices. I started Patients for Affordable Drugs because I'm a cancer patient. I have an incurable blood cancer. It's called multiple myeloma. It's incurable, but it's treatable for some period of time, unknown, with very expensive drugs. In fact, I'm taking drugs right now. I took my first drugs today by mouth, and when I leave here, I'll go for about 3 hours of infusion. They plug me in and pump drugs in. My drugs carry a price tag of $650,000 a year, and my journey as a cancer patient taught me a very important fact, and that is drugs don't work if people can't afford them. I will die of my disease sooner than I want to if they don't invent some new drugs for me. I'll run out of options. That's why it kills people. Drugs stop working. And so I care deeply about innovation and new drug development, but we have to make sure that we're balancing the innovation we're getting with prices that make drugs affordable and accessible. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
I suppose you've heard the argument then from drug companies that will say it's the cost of that R&D, that development, that ultimately factors in the cost of a prescription drug. What do you make of that argument, considering what you just said?
Yeah, there is no correlation, many studies show this, between the cost of research and development and the price that is assigned to a drug. Drug companies have monopoly pricing power in our country, and so they set the prices as high as they can. The fact is that all 210 drugs approved by the FDA from 2010 to 2016 are based on science paid for by taxpayers through the NIH. The National Institutes of Health are the single largest funder of biomedical research in the entire world. We're paying for that. And what NIH does with those wonderful drugs is it gives them to a drug company that can then set any price it wants. We believe that we need to restore balance. Let's get that innovation, but let's make sure, especially with taxpayer-funded drugs, that we are getting the prices. And I might add one more thing, and that is that drug companies don't spend as much as they want you to believe on R&D. They spend, many of them, more on advertising and marketing than they do on research and development.
When it comes then to the NIH's work, there are a couple of vehicles in Congress designed to take a look at this